Good morning, students. So, in the last classes, we had discussed about the cell theory. Today, we will start with a new topic, that is differences of prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Okay. So, here what is the topic in the first chapter? Okay. What it is means, that is the prokaryotic differences of prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Differences of prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. See, before going to this topic, already you know what do you mean by cell. Okay, the body of all living organisms, either a small living organism or either a large living organism. The body of all living organisms except viruses. See here, the body of all living organisms, that is bacteria, cyanobacteria, fungi, plants, then animals. Okay, here all these living organisms has a cellular body organization, or what we call cellular organization. All these living organisms has a cellular organization. Means their body is made up of cells. Okay, some of them are the unicellular. If we talk about the protozoans, it will also come under the living organisms. Okay, so all these organisms have the cellular organization, except one thing, that is the virus. Virus, which is not a true cell, they don't have the cellular organization. Okay, so altogether here, some of the organisms are composed of one cell, some of the organisms are composed of many cells. A cell is the smallest and complex fundamental unit of fundamental structure and function of all living organisms. So it is a unit. It is of all living organisms or the living matter. Okay, so these all things we had studied. But see, based on the number of cells, the living organisms are classified into two cell types. What are that means? That is unicellular organism, where the whole organism is made up of only one cell. Their body is made up of only one cell. Examples you can take such as amoeba, euglena, plasmodium. These all are what? These all are the unicellular organisms. Their body is made up of only one cell. Then one more classification is there of the living organism based on what? Based on the number of cells. If the body of living organisms are made up of many cells, okay, more than one cell, not only two or three, more than one cell means that type of organisms we can call it as the multicellular organisms, where the body is made up of many number of cells. Okay, examples you can take fungi, plants, then animals, algae, etc. Okay, here most of the organisms are what? Multicellular, and some of the organisms are unicellular. Okay, so now here in unicellular, one more example will come, that is bacteria. Okay, so this is based on the number of cells the living organisms are classified. Now next here, all cellular organisms contain one type of cell from the following types of cells. See, all these living organisms will not have a similar type of cell. Okay, It will be varying. Here, varying means there is no varieties of cells. Only two types of cells are there. What are the two types of cells? On what basis it has been divided? Let's see here. See here. Next, the cellular organisms. It is classified into two types. These are the two types. What are the two types? On the basis of two different cells, that it is eukaryotes or eukaryotic organisms. One more, prokaryotic organisms. Okay, so here, what do you mean by this prokaryotes and eukaryotes? In prokaryotes, what is the example for prokaryotes? Means that is the bacteria. And rest of the other organisms will come under the eukaryotes, such as the plants, animals, then fungi, protozoans. These all will come under the eukaryotic cells or the eukaryotic organisms. Only bacteria will come under the prokaryotes. Okay, so here, what is the major fundamental between this classification of these two types of cells? So see here, prokaryote and eukaryote. Here you see, if this is the cell, this is the prokaryotic cell and this one is the eukaryotic cell. Here, in the prokaryotic cell, there will be presence of nucleus. As you know, nucleus, which is one of the important cell organelle in which there is a presence of chromosomes as well as the genetic material. Here also there is a nucleus as well as here also there is a presence of nucleus. But what happens means in the prokaryotic cell, here in the eukaryotic cell, there will be presence of the nuclear membrane. Okay, here the nucleus is enveloped within the nuclear membrane. But here in the prokaryotic cell, there is no nuclear membrane around the nucleus. The nucleus is naked nucleus. Here you can see this is the nucleus. You cannot see any nuclear membrane over the nucleus. But here in the eukaryote, there is a presence of nuclear membrane. This is one of the basic difference between the prokaryote and eukaryotic cell. And as well as here, the prokaryotic cell will have the cytoplasm, and this eukaryotic cell is also having the cytoplasm, because all the cellular activities or the cellular metabolism is taking place within this cytoplasm. Okay. The next, what about the other cell organelles? Such as there is a presence in eukaryotic cell, there will be presence of mitochondria, which is membrane bound cell organelle, then Golgi apparatus. This is Golgi apparatus, then endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes will be there. If it is plant cell means there will be presence of large vacuoles, then chloroplast will be there. Like this. Here you can see in the eukaryote that It is composed of membrane-bounded cell organelles. Here you can see there are many membrane-bounded cell organelles such as mitochondria is there, chloroplast is there, endoplasmic reticulum is there, Golgi apparatus. So such membrane-bound cell organelles are well developed and located in the eukaryotes, but you cannot see in the prokaryotic cell. Okay, so here there will be, if you talk about the cell envelope in the prokaryote, there will be presence of plasma membrane. Plasma membrane will be there. This is similar in both in eukaryote as well as in the prokaryote. Okay, but the thing is there, and as well as there is a presence of ribosome, which is one of the cell organelle, ribosome. These ribosomes are also present in prokaryotic cells. So this is some of the general differences between the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Here, prokaryotic means pro means something is lacking. Karyon means that is nucleus. Okay, and eukaryote we can say U means true, and karyon means that is the true nucleus is located in the cell. That cell we can call it as the eukaryote. Without nucleus or without nuclear membrane, we can say it is prokaryotic cell. Here there are three domains are there for the difference between this prokaryote and eukaryote. Let's see what are that. See here, prokaryotes includes a group of bacteria, and the bacteria are known as the Archaebacteria. What it is? It is there is a presence of most of the Archaebacteria, and that Archaebacteria are the prokaryotic cell. As I told you, bacteria are the unicellular organisms. Okay, so that see Archaebacteria, within this Archaebacteria, Archaea, which is also called as the Archaebacteria, are similar to the Eubacteria in structure. Similar to Eubacteria only in the structure. Okay, Eubacteria, that is the true bacteria, what we call Eubacteria. That we can call it as the true bacteria. So in this prokaryotes or these prokaryotic cells are differentiated into either into the Eubacteria or either into the Archaebacteria. It is differentiated into Eubacteria, Archaebacteria. Okay, so here the Eubacteria include most present day bacteria. That is the one example, Cyanobacteria. And Cyanobacteria, which is also known as the blue-green algae. what it is also known as? It is also known as the blue-green algae. So most of the commonly encountered bacteria, in other words, that is the true bacteria. The archaebacteria, this one, the archaebacteria are similar to the eubacteria and cellular structure, but as different from the eubacteria as they are from eukaryotes. These eubacteria are not referring to the prokaryotic cell because they are from the what? Eukaryotes. Okay. The next here, present day archaebacteria are further divided into this archaebacteria into three main groups. What are that means? Divided into three main groups. What are the three main groups? Let's see here. That it is methanobacteria, colobacteria, sulfobacteria. What are the three main groups? Methano, first one, it is first one, methanobacteria. By name itself, methane producing bacteria. Methano, that it is the methane, which is one of the gas. That gas is producing by some of the bacteria, and that type of bacteria is named as the methanobacteria. So what do you mean by this methanobacteria? Actual meaning of this methanobacteria, which obtain energy from carbon dioxide. Okay, which obtain energy from carbon dioxide. Energy by converting carbon dioxide. Energy by converting carbon dioxide and hydrogen into what? Into the methane. That bacteria is known as the methanobacteria. One of the example in the production of gobar gas or the biogas, what we call, there the bacteria, certain prokaryotic or methanobacteria, or else you can also call it as the methanogens. So here they are, what they will do means, they will utilize the carbon dioxide and hydrogen to produce the methane. Okay, so that type of bacteria which are producing the methane gas, that type of bacteria are known as the methanobacteria. Okay, the next second one, halobacteria. Halobacteria. What do you mean by halobacteria? Means which can grow in salty environment. Which can grow in salty environment. Okay, salty, where there is a higher concentration of sodium chloride. How much means? That means 5.5 molar NaCl. This much concentration, in this much concentration of salty area of the sodium chloride, these bacteria are going to grow, and they are known as the halobacteria or halophils. Then third one, that is the sulfobacteria. Sulfobacteria. Here, sulfur bacteria means which obtain energy from sulfur containing compounds. Which obtain energy from sulfur containing compounds. And such type of bacteria are known as the sulfobacteria. Okay, so some of the within this archaebacteria, some of them, see, this is a major classification of archaebacteria. Methanobacteria, which produces the methane. Halobacteria, which can live in the highly saline concentration. Okay, that is in the salty areas. Sulfobacteria, which obtain energy from the sulfur containing compound. Except these, some of these archaea are the thermoacidophilus. Here we see, except these three classifications, some of the bacteria are thermoacidophilus. Means what? Thermoacidophils. Thermoacidophils means what? Means the bacteria which thrive in an acidic hot springs, or which can survive in a acidic hot springs. Bacteria which can survive in a acidic hot springs. Totally in an acidic condition they are going to survive, and such type of bacteria are known as the thermoacidophils, where the pH is much acidic, as low as 2. Okay, and the temperature will be above 100 degrees. Okay, so such type of bacteria are known as the thermoacidophils. This methanobacteria, halobacteria, sulfobacteria, thermoacidophils, all these come under the archaebacteria. These are some of the specialized bacteria which can thrive, which can survive in extreme conditions. Okay, which can live in a, these are some of the bacteria which can live in a extreme conditions, not in a normal condition, but in a extreme condition, and such type of bacteria are known as the archaebacteria. Okay, so this is about what? Archaebacteria. The next, let's see about the genetic material. I told you there are some domains are there for the difference of prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Let's see about that. Next, based on RNA sequencing, one of the scientists, cell biologist has been recognized eukaryotes, eubacteria and archaebacteria has three fundamental different groups. Okay, so here based on RNA sequencing. Based on RNA sequencing, here two cell biologists whose name is Carl Rose and C. Fred Fox. Some of the cell biologists, that is Carl Rose and one more, that it is C. Fred Fox. These are the two cell biologists who has differentiated eukaryotes, eubacteria and archaebacteria into different groups. How they had classified, let's see. See here, the cell biologist now recognizes eukaryotes, archaebacteria and one more, that is eubacteria. Okay, eukaryotes, eubacteria and archaebacteria as three fundamental different groups. What they told, these are three fundamental different groups of cellular organisms. Three fundamental different groups. Okay, the next let's see how they had described. In addition to the characteristics of their RNA, okay, that is in that there will be presence of genetic material, and that genetic material consists of DNA, RNA and proteins. Here that RNA, based on this RNA sequencing, okay, here what they are telling, in addition to the characteristics of their, see, RNA is further divided into rRNA, tRNA and mRNA. So based on the characteristics of their tRNA, they had classified this, the cells of each group have the other distinctive molecular, biochemical and cellular entities and properties in common. So including RNA polymerase. Based on this nucleic acid only, they had classified these three groups. Okay, what are that? Eukaryotes, archaebacteria and eubacteria. So first, till now we had discussed only about how they had differed. Now next we will see in detail about the prokaryotic or prokaryotic cell. Okay. Now next, that it is, first we will talk about in detail about the prokaryotic cell. First of all, I told you pro means that it is primitive or before, karyon means nucleus. These cells are small, simple and most primitive. Small, simple and most primitive. Primitive means these are the first organism which was described as the first living organism in this world. That's why it is one of the most primitive cell. Okay, they are probably the first to continue the existence. Perhaps when this prokaryotes have been evolved in this world, means that is 3.5 billion years ago. 3.5 billion years ago came into the existence. Okay, for example, here which one is the bacteria which first came into the existence in this world, means that it is the stromatolites. What it is? Stromatolites. So what is this stromatolites means? That it is the giant colonies of cyanobacteria. Giant colonies of cyanobacteria. Okay, or cyanobacteria, which is also known as the blue-green algae. Okay, so here, and the eukaryotic cells has evolved from the prokaryotic cells. See here, eukaryotic cells has came from the prokaryotic cells, evolved from the prokaryotic cells. Okay, the next and the first eukaryotic cells may be arisen. The first eukaryotic cell was evolved when it's 1.4 billion years ago. Yes. Okay, in this way they had been evolved. So here, what are the basic differences between the pro and eukaryotic cell? Let's see that one. Before going to the detailed studies in the prokaryotic cell, first we will see the differences between the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Here you see how a prokaryotic cell differing from the eukaryotic cell. There are some characteristics. Prokaryotic cell differs from prokaryotic cell differs from eukaryotic cell in following characteristics. And what are that? following characteristic. The first is absence of membrane around the nuclear material. First one, as I told you, first only, there is no nuclear membrane. That is the absence of a membrane. Absence of a membrane around the nuclear material. Around the nuclear material. This is the first difference. The second difference, absence of membrane limited organelles. There will be absence of membrane bound cell organelles. Absence of membrane limited organelles. Okay, this is the second difference. That genetic material is located on the single chromosome. Genetic material is located on, here there is only, see, on only one chromosome there will be genetic material will be located in prokaryotic cell. Genetic material is located on a single chromosome. On a single chromosome. But in eukaryotes, it will be located in more than one chromosome. Okay, then the basic protein, the histones, the basic proteins, that is the histones, which is located as for the packaging of DNA. Okay, that histones are absent in prokaryotes, which are found on the chromosome of eukaryotic cell, which are found on the chromosomes of eukaryotic cell. Okay, this is absent in the prokaryotic cell. The next, they also do not contain nucleoli cytoskeleton. Absence of nucleoli cytoskeleton. Okay, nucleoli cytoskeleton are absent. So centrioles and basal bodies, these are also absent in prokaryotic cells. Centrioles and basal bodies are also absent. This is also one of the main difference. Then cell wall of prokaryote is non-cellulosic. Cell wall of prokaryotic is non-cellulosic. Means in that cell wall there will be absence of cellulose material. Plasma membrane carries respiratory enzymes. Here in prokaryotes, the plasma membrane carries the respiratory enzymes, but you cannot find such respiratory enzymes in eukaryotes. Respiratory enzymes. This is also one of the important difference. Then cytoplasm of prokaryotic cell does not exhibit streaming or amoeboid movement. Here I will write cytoplasm of eukaryote does not involve in any amoeboid movement. Amoeboid movement. Okay, this is the 8th difference. 9th one, that is ribosomes of prokaryotes are 70 years. Ribosomes of prokaryotes are 70 years, and eukaryotes it will be 80 years. Okay, so this is about some of the absence of membrane around the nuclear membrane. This is the first difference. Then absence of membrane limited organs such as mitochondria, chloroplast, endoplasmic reticulum, these all are absent. Then genetic material located on a single chromosome. Then the basic protein histones which are present, they are found for the packaging of DNA, which is absent in the prokaryote. Then absence of nucleoli, cytoskeleton, centrioles and basal bodies. Then cell bodies, non-cellulosic. There will be presence of respiratory enzymes in the plasma membranes. These are the basic differences of prokaryotes and eukaryotes. In the next class, we will talk about in detail about the only about the prokaryotic cell. Then we will go for the eukaryotic cell. Okay, thank you.